Hey, how are you? Today is Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Ken Arzon here in Vista, California. I just finished a series of videos. Roberto Clemente's career, 18 years. I devoted a video to each of his seasons from 1955 to 1972. He could have kept playing baseball because he was 37 after the 1972 season. But that winter, he went on a plane crash, or he went on a plane and it crashed. He was going to Nicaragua to deliver some supplies. Did you know that the plane was overloaded? It's like 4,000 pounds on the plane. And it had mechanical problems and it just crashed into the ocean. And Roberto Clemente was gone. They never recovered his body. What a tragedy. He could have kept playing. I mean, he's 37. Let's say he plays 3 more years till he's 40. He ended up with 3,000 hits. If he plays 3 more years, that's another 400 hits, maybe 500 hits. He could have ended up with 3,500 hits if he had played 20 years. If he had played 22 years, maybe 3,700 hits. He was that good of a player. This video is a recap of his career, okay? Let's recap it. 2,433 games. You know what I liked? In his 18 years, every season he played over 100 games. If you look at his stats, never played a season under 100 games. Some other players on their resumes and on their stat lines have seasons of 60 games, 70 games, 80 games. Not Roberto Clemente. 100 games plus 18 straight years. I like it. 9,454 at-bats. Excellent. 1,416 runs scored in 18 years. I would have liked to have seen more 100 run scored seasons. He only had 3. Should have had 10 in 18 years. 3,000 hits exactly. We know that number. No one else in baseball history has accomplished what Roberto Clemente did. Is to finish your career exactly on the nose, on the button, whatever phrase you want to use. 3,000 hits exactly. Nobody else has done that in history. What a wonderful number, 3,000 hits. He had 4 200-hit seasons. Solid. 440 doubles, 166 triples, 240 homers. Had a couple of seasons where he had over 20 homers, 3 seasons over 20. This high was 29 homers. 1,305 RBIs. A little disappointed there. It should have been 1,500, should have been 1,600 RBIs. He only had 2 seasons over 100 RBIs. Should have had like 8 or 9. He was that good of a player. 621 career walks. I don't like this stat, though. Did you know Roberto Clemente struck out 1,230 times? It's too many, Roberto. Some of the good, great hitters of the past limit their strikeouts for their career. 500 and under. Some players played 20 years, had 2,500 games, and yet they only had 500 strikeouts. But Roberto Clemente had 1,230, way too many. He had 2 seasons where he had over 100 strikeouts. That shouldn't have happened. He should have focused more on contact versus maybe he swung too hard a lot of times. So that would be a flaw on Roberto Clemente's career, 1,230 strikeouts. Some of the power hitters, the big guys, they struck out a lot because they're going for the homer. Roberto was not a home run guy, only 240. So he should have improved his strikeout ratio. It should have been lower. 317 career batting average. Very good. 4 batting titles. This high was 357. He also had a 351. He had a 352 also. And a 345. So I counted 13 seasons out of 18 over 300. That got him into the Hall of Fame. The 3,000 hits, and the 13 300 batting seasons, and the 4 200 hit seasons, and the 4 batting titles. That got him into the Hall of Fame. 359 on base career, 475 slugging career, 4,492 total bases. I would like to have seen 5,000 total bases. That would have been good. So Roberto Clemente's career, 18 years. I wish it was 20 to 22. He could have been up to 3,500 hits, I think. If he had played 3 more years. He stopped playing at 37. Well, it wasn't his fault. He got into that plane crash. Took his life. He probably could have played 3 more years. Aaron played over 20, so did Mays. So I think Clemente would have been one of those guys kept playing. His career average also could have been in the 320s, I think. So how can we rank and evaluate Roberto Clemente as among the great hitters of the past? Where would I put him? Oh, top 25 as far as hitting. I think I can 20 to 25 other players I would put ahead of Clemente. The 317 is not as high as some of the other guys I would put ahead of him. Some of the other guys are in the 330s, 340s, 350s career batting averages. So I've got to look at that. Also, the 1,230 strikeouts is a little concerning there. Too many there. Other than that, solid player, good right fielder, had a good arm. We know that. He could throw the ball from right field and get those guys out at second and third and home plate. A lot of assist from the outfield. Say top 25 as far as hitting. What do you think? Interesting career, 18 years. Roberto Clemente. Okay, what I like to do is, after I've done finishing someone, I mention all the ball players that I've covered on this YouTube channel, looking at every season and every box score. I've done it on this channel, and these are the guys I've done so far. And I was starting with episode 1001. And right now I'm on episode, what is it now? 1686. I'm going to keep going. It's just a little hobby I got going, looking at ball player, looking at their career, critiquing them, looking to see if there's successes, pointing out some areas where they could have improved. A lot of these guys were really interesting me, and I was curious about all of them. So I started covering Babe Ruth, episode 1001. Then I did Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig, Stan Musial, Tris Speaker, Rogers Hornsby, Ted Williams, Tony Gwynn, Ed Delonte, George Slisler, Jesse Burkett, Joe Jackson, Willie Keeler, Billy Hamilton, Harry Heilman, Joe DiMaggio, Bill Terry, Lefty O'Doul, Dave Orr, Dan Brothers, Pete Browning, Nat Lajoie, Al Simmons, Sam Thompson, Cap Hansen, Jimmy Fox, Honus Wagner, Willie Mays, Henry Aaron, Hank Greenberg, Hugh Duffy, Eddie Collins, Paul Wainer, Lloyd Wainer, Chuck Klein, Sam Rice, and now I just finished Roberto Clemente. Who's next? Well, like I say, I could pick anybody. But certain guys I'm curious about their careers, and I want to look at it more closely, not just hear the name, but I want to look at their box scores. So I go to Baseball Reference. You go to career batting average leaders. I like those guys with high career batting averages. I'm not going to cover someone who bats 250 their career. It's got to be 300 and above. And all these guys that I've done have been 300 and above. There's a guy in the list I haven't covered yet. So you may not have heard of him. I've heard of him in books, read about him, but I haven't really studied in detail. So that's what I want to do. His name is, he's in the Hall of Fame, Henny Manouche. Have you heard of him? I've heard the name and I've read about him in books. But this guy had a 330 career batting average, and it was in 2,000 games. So it's noteworthy. You got to look at him. Played from 1923 to 1939. So that's my next series of videos. Henny Manouche. He made the Baseball Hall of Fame. You say you may not have heard of the guy, or who cares about him? Well, I'm just curious about the guy. So let's devote a video to all his seasons, and then we'll rank him among the great hitters of the past. 330 career batting average, 2,524 hits is noteworthy. So we'll look at him next. I'm out.